Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. It is late today. I have a Divine Masculine read for you, Divine Masculine Twin Flames, and it will be for May 30 to the 31st, 2019. Late getting started because I was out all day, but I was determined to get this out to you guys, so there's some pertinent information here. And it just started pouring rain outside here. Like I said, it is May 30th, and 30 is the Four of Wands, which is all about structure, stability, the home, and the Union card. It's the 0 behind the 3, which is source energy backing it up, and 3 is of self-expression. It's being your authentic self. It's of siblings and coming together, being social, but mostly about being your authentic self, being true to yourself. The day adds up to 4711. 11 is very spiritual and visionary, and the 47 is the 7 of Cups, of having options, but also heaven in your eyes, and it's all about synchronicities as well. So what were your options today in regards to home and union? Could be family celebrations as well. Lots of options. Sometimes that's a blessing, sometimes that's a curse. So before I get started on the 30th read, just some information that came up from yesterday that I didn't get to with you guys. Just some random things that came up. Heavy rains, like it just came in again, but it was heavy rains on the 29th. There was some yesterday as well, and then it's like pouring on my roof right now. So these heavy rains, as well as the Fibonacci sequence came up. I woke up, not last night, but the night before. I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep at all. That's why I didn't do anything yesterday, because I was like a walking zombie. I hadn't slept a wink. But during that night when I couldn't sleep, I kept going through the Fibonacci sequence, like calculating the next and the next and the next. And the 11th, since today added up to 11, the 11th number of the Fibonacci sequence is 144, and the 21st number is 17711. Also Heathrow and Stonehenge, Horseshoe Bay came up, as well as Santa Fe. And then Italy, Ireland, and England, Chariots of Fire, rolling down the river Nile with the Sphinxes, all right? So there's definitely a connection here between mostly England, but Ireland and Italy were coming up here too. And you notice that Horseshoe Bay is Bermuda, which is English. And then the connection from there to Egypt, and then going down the Nile. And there's more to this that comes up in the read from today. Something else that came up yesterday were mold issues, as well as radiation and radon issues. So whoever may be suspecting something like that, or someone who's feeling sick, it may be because of one of those things, mold or radiation, radon type stuff. And Akashic Records has been coming up a lot this week. And when I got up this morning, went outside, I walked right out to 2 butterflies frolicking with each other, and I got several pictures in a row of the 2 butterflies. So that was a beautiful symbol this morning. Also, Qigong came up this morning as well. And let's see here. So getting right into the read now. It was done this morning. 9:33 to 34 and 35. 33 is that 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands, and 9 of Wands. So getting to the point where the burdens need to be dumped. But 33 also being the Christ vibration and standing up for yourself without being defensive. And at the time of this read, the major arcana from the Sirian Starseed deck were the Tower and the Higher Self. There were also beneath the underlying energy, which is a card I use in the read, as well as the card after the read, which I also pulled and use in the read, were the Star card and Luna, which is the Moon. There were 3 cups, 3 pentacles, 2 wands, and 1 sword. The court cards were the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Page of Wands. Okay, so 2 kings and a page. The numbers that came up around the coding were all around intuition and domestic harmony. Okay, so that Four of Wands of Remember, your heart is your home. So making sure you have that harmony within your heart in using your connection to your higher self, your intuition. The message here around those things and numbers were 22, 88, as well as 2, 78, 6, 86, 28, 26, 67, the sequence 6, 7, 8, and then 33, 21. So 33 came up again. And 21 and 22, of course, are the world, completion, and then the Fool, which is that new leap of faith and the new start, the new beginning. And the 88 of Lionsgate, but also the masculine and feminine side by side, integrated and centered. And then 28 of the Two of Wands, or Twin Flames. The 26 is the Page of Wands, which also came up in the read, and that's also a very karmic number, the 26. 67 is the Knight of Pentacles, which is the very sure-footed knight, the workhorse, the stable one, the one who's very loyal, the loyal servant, right? God's loyal servant. Also, let's see, the message here around intuition and domestic harmony. And to see was very important here. To the nth degree, two high koans, or high priestess, or two people with psychic abilities, and high seas, high emotions, seek the Euro-India gateway. And you notice that England came up in a big way, and here it is again in the coding. The Euro-India gateway, which is EIG, and the royal family, or the Ten of Pentacles, right? The high Kohan, the royal family, and the Tower of sudden events, and supporting each other and separate factions of the family, and the feminine actually reaching out to friends to support them. So there could be other twins, not just your twin, but other twins that you support each other. For domestic harmony and intuition, so a pick-me-up, so to speak, for your other twin friends. So saying that in another way, and also my maiden name initials came up. So it's like going back to your roots. TNT was coming up. Like, whoa, TNT, whoa. High seas and emotions as a keg explodes. Or keg, K-E-I, the keg or keg, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. That came up as well, which I ended up being guided to look up. The feminine within the masculine, again, that 8 of being centered of your masculine and feminine, and integrated and balanced in order to deal with the tower issues in terms of different things regarding the feminine. A mother and sweet 60, so somebody in their 60s now, or just supporting as the feminine to a friend, like I said before. But some issues with women in general come up here, and I'm going to get into them in a minute. So the KEIG online came up near the Castle Forbes. Ancestral home, clan, Forbes family, with historic bridge of Caig, designed by Thomas Telford and River Don. Over River Don. Okay, and this is in the UK. So, okay, we're bringing back England. We have the royal family comes up, and then this word that I was guided to look up, not familiar myself. And then, and bridging here, right? And then Caig, or I don't know how you pronounce it, Caig or Keg Financial is integrity. They quoted integrity above all else online in the header, and they opened April 1990, which is the year that my son was born. And then Caig Ranch came up, and that's 185 acres, Solano County, minutes from Vacayville, 1440 square foot home, okay, 1440, with 2,000 square foot deck with views of the Sacramento Valley, Grizzly Bay, and Mount Diablo, 3520 Weeby Drive, Vacayville, California. Anyway, the coordinates sync too. The coordinates were 38.3414469 north, and 69 is the Ace of Pentacles, new life, and then 122 west. Okay, so this is they were advertising a place, this beautiful home with a beautiful view. Turn off Highway 80 to Pleasant Valley Road. Turn left to the feminine, and you will come to Weedby Drive. Drive up to Locked Gate. Okay, so you go to all this trouble to get there, and then the gate is locked, and then taxes came up. Call agent for details. So anyway, then the cell phone came up to call this office, and realtor type thing for these beautiful ranch properties, which were very affordable actually. And then another site came up for that name, KEIG, who was a lineage type site. The purpose of this DNA project is to research origins of 6 Manx families, M-A-N-X, of Norwegian Viking descent that originated Isle of Mar. I don't even know what I write half the time. But those were some of the headings I got. Very important connections between the royal family and the English, and what's coming up with the feminine energies here, and the bridge. Okay, so we have also a bird. As soon as I went down to write this stuff, a bird, I'm outside, started whistling at me, like the birds that make this is just them chirping, but they say woo 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 woo, like, so that started right after that. That was at 10:13. An explosion of female high emotions. See bridge over troubled waters. Urgent support needed. So this was the message from the read. Okay, someone may have been dealing with mastectomy, exploitation of female as over emotional, and it's her fault for the bloodshed, the loss of child, inability to mother, birth, or feed, destitute of worth. All right, so this is the problem with the feminine being, who was exploited and told that she was the cause of all the bloodshed that's happened over the year. The silly woman who's over emotional, who has no worth. Once she's old and dried up, right, and has the inability to create anymore, right, because she's all dried up, to mother, to birth, to feed, mother's milk, right? There's no fluid in her left. There's no emotions to purge. So she's no longer worthy. So this is a wound. Support the divine feminine and the karmic feminines, all feminines that are boxed in. And Queen Elizabeth was coming up here. She's getting very old. She's 93. To support all women with love. Sophia, collective consciousness. Toggling to etheric realms. Also T was coming up, as well as just being connected to your intuition and domestic harmony, because your heart is your home. That's your connection. And I was getting, again, don't fence me in. And the H that I got the other day that was on an angle with the extended line across, like that, if you put two of them next to each other, it literally draws the picture of a fence. The moat around the castle protects. The sea's rising tides. 2 high Kohan, or high Mar, which is high seas, seek bridge. The divine feminine within the masculine, at 0 point, balanced and centered. Suddenly, no mother's milk, menopause. Mother's 60, considered old, all dried up. Bloodshed, right? So when you have your period, it's relating to the bloodshed of man. No blood, no milk, no moat, no emotions, no longer valued, no longer valid. In other words, receiving validation outside of yourself. So there's obviously some big feminine wounds, and the royal family is coming up about this because she always has to act like a man in the leadership position. And it can come off as very cold as well. But the woman being blamed for all the problems in the world, her having a period at all, her then getting dried up and no longer worthy of anything, because she's only worthy if she's able to give birth to the masculine's child, okay? So royal lineages of Queen Elizabeth, 1952 to the present. And country birthdays as well, not only the feminine, but feminine countries, like what's their birthday. Their birth dates came up, just like July 4th for the U.S. Queen Elizabeth now needing to think outside the box because she's been in the masculine, the patriarchy, for so long. There needs to be that Euro-India gateway bridge, okay, a bridging there. So it's coming up, all of England's extensions needing to close that gap, that bridge over troubled waters. The boxy queen, don't fence me in, right? Because she's been secluded in her little castle with the moat protecting her all this time, which is a very masculine energy. I was also getting, if you are a castle without protection, without fluid, without a emote, what good are you? Okay? If you can't float. The female high Kohan, QE2 was coming up, and then Big Ben protecting their own after, in the wake of what happened in France, not protecting their brethren, the French Quasimodo. They're protecting Ben. Bridge over troubled waters, the Euro-India gateway, Caig, England, France, and before Ireland was coming up as well. And War of the Roses. So War of the Roses were two family groups in England. One was identified by the white rose and the other by the red rose, who fought each other, yet they were blood relatives. Okay, and probably a female was to blame there, right? War of the Roses, and then we have the movie The War of the Roses. But that was the white roses were the Yorks, and the red roses were the Lancaster family, okay? So as we start this read, and this is nothing I'm saying is judgment of anything, it's just the wounds that are coming up around the royal families and the female and the lineage of actually what worth a female has and how it's exploited. All right, so this is the underlying energy here of the Two of Chalices with the star behind it, okay? And the star being very galactic there, and musical as well, and Egyptian. Partners in justice, but also partners in crime, in the end of a royal line or family, frees an old bird from being cold, forever deliberating the why in the road. All right, so it's paralleling Queen Elizabeth as being in a man's world. She's perpetually deliberating the why in the road, which is a masculine position, not a feminine position. Aquarius and Libra energies coming up as done in this partnership. Bridge dissolved as the crown leaves with the queen. The king and queen go back to the green, but they can never go back there at all, also came up. Number 27 then came up, which was the Ace of Wands. Ashamed or shamed by the Queen of Wands openly, or she is shamed openly, refusing to see sexual and or creative growth of the King of Wands, and them needing to go their separate ways, held together by pretending they don't see what's right in front of them. And this is bringing up pride and ego. Little lizard may be shadowing, following, or spying on the King of Wands for the Queen of Wands, so she can shame him. But he is inspired and no longer needs to know all the details. He now just knows. He's in his knowing. When it rains, it snows, as opposed to pours. Now frozen in time, the tail end, fairy tale ending, is no longer happy when cold or frozen. It no longer flows, and it never thaws out. A long line of cold women, frigidity, refusing to let loose and have fun due to what they are supposed to be at a certain age. So here's another wound of what you're supposed to be like or dress like or act like when you're a certain age. Like you're not allowed to wear certain clothes when you're 60 or 50 or whatever. But that's definitely coming up, which is an incorrect teaching, because we're all each supposed to be purely authentic to ourselves. So proper ladies, you know, what we're supposed to be at a certain age, proper ladies and women, moss and molehills, and moss rehab came up there for me, green blankets and little lizards, alligators and crocs, gators and crocodile smiles. New passion stands tall and trumps over all. The man now stops allowing karmics to make mountains out of little molehills. Take back control of their lives, their sovereignty, regaining their intuition, their knowing, by separation. So this is also bringing in the masculine at play in this situation. They may have had a dominating or domineering masculine type mother figure, just like Queen Elizabeth, right? Who may have been a little bit cold or stern. And what happens to the children when the mother's not affectionate? The Queen of Pentacles, besides separation underneath that for the underlying energy for the masculine, was heart-to-heart conversations, and then separation. Protecting self by just standing up for themselves and being loved. The Queen of Pentacles is out missing her reflection as the King of Cups towers or fawns over destiny of the feminine, seeing her own beauty. He's right there at your feet if you just see how beautiful you actually are. Radiating your light is like a radio signal to the Divine Masculine. And it was 11 o'clock as I turned the page, and that's all about source energy support and justice. It's like, so you knowing your own beauty or your confidence is like a radio signal to him. It's like a mating call. And why, and then I got the woo, 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 right? And why multiple men gravitate to certain ones who show off their tail feathers. Confidence in who you are magnetizes those who want to feel the same, happy with self. The King of Cups and Emperor may compete for the Queen of Pentacles, and she's not even aware of it. Others may be trying to get their attention by superficial means, but no energy trumps the radiation of unconditional love of self and others in the feminine, i.e., the royal family, that royal family of the angelic realms. While other women are envying the superficial woman or women, all of a sudden the men will be obviously attracted to the unrelenting, unconditional, loving woman. She doesn't show off from ego, but rather true love of self and others. Divine Masculine will recognize the pain they've caused by ego and concerned with unimportant things and not paying enough attention to the souls of his own children. Who cares if they left food on the floor? Who are they giving away their bodies to? What have you taught them to value? Their status or their hearts? Being perfectly proper or properly aligned? Letting them get and do whatever they want due to lack of attention from you, or spending time to hear them and learn from them too. The Emperor's new clothes, expensive trappings, foods and paper origamis, all the right words, elitism, is just seeking validation outside of yourself. Are you comfortable in your own skin? And doing what? And who you love is no matter Are you comfortable in your own skin? And are you doing what and whoever you love, no matter what anyone else thinks or says? The King of Cups trumps the Emperor and the dark and depressed today. Who did he value and who did he throw away? New beginnings comes up here as underlying energy, which is number 1 of the Magician, and beneath that was forgiveness, which is 96. It's so funny. I keep thinking of this silly movie. I can't remember what the name of the movie was, but it was just like this crazy, famous pop star, and I just keep remembering her sitting there saying she's practicing singing and she's annoying the crap out of the guy who's with her. And I can't think of it. It's such a silly movie, but and she's just sitting there saying forgiveness, like this is the song she wrote, and it keeps coming up every time I say that word. More than just your sorry. It's pretty funny. Are you the pillar of the community? Are you happy? Or are you a pillar because you're happy doing authentic you? The Page of Wands reversed is uninspired with tantrums, replaced by a good student perhaps, with the gold coin, or the collective consciousness, ready to learn. 2 gold feathers in his cap represent his wings, not the traditional 2 feathers in your cap, and he is learning to manifest authentically, recovering from destitution and prisons to reap rewards of his own tree blossoming, where his family are those who resonate, angelic lineage, not human, and creating new ideas that build real castles in the air, creating a web even for spiders to hang, because spiders are ultimately good creatures. They help out. And then as I turn the pages, 11:21 to 22, which again is the world to the Fool, making that transition to that new world, the new life, taking a leap of faith, and Charlotte's Web came up. The spiders are good, not scary. All of a sudden, money is all around when the 5 of Swords, or the enemy of yourself, internal wars and fear, brain wars, all of this fear releases, ends the war and apologizes, switches gears, the masculine, seeing the destructive actions even to self, seeing the student working into the hours with support hose instead of spending time at home with family who have felt left out and abandoned. Why are you avoiding others? Time to be honest with yourself and them, allowing things to change for the better, whether it's together or apart. Don't fence me in. So one child may be a happy student and the other may learn in a different way. Living is usually the best teacher, following your bliss, what makes you light up when you do it or don't do it. King of Wands speaks the truth of hidden things, sharing about wanting to hang a shingle of truth, no matter what, even if others get hurt. Each must find their own balance, lay down their swords, and all be in their knowing, allowing their light to shine with soulmate divine feminine's heart, recently reaching out the King of Swords sunshine, his sunshine, exposure to happiness and freedom, and wanting to learn, invite, and have opportunities. The King of Swords, a little kid again, in knowing his true connection to the light, to his dreams, to his higher self, to his divine feminine. He may be separating from the Emperor in a new beginning, ending a war and apologizing to those hurt by it, but that is their opportunity to learn. So it's not all on him. The foundation here, and that was the recent past. So the recent past is the 7 of crystals, but for me this is divine feminine's heart in this deck. So it's about reaping rewards, but it's also the divine feminine's heart and allowing people to come in, okay? The foundation is his higher self. In choosing his path, the King of Wands reversed is tired of his old persona and moving to the King of Pentacles, or that could be someone else. Maybe he's working on that image as well, but working to align and crack his codes at work. Centrally, he's going away walking away from all the hard work, everything that he left perfectly aligned in a row, to find what was missing, to go within. Maybe offering up his gold coin and his burdens to transmutation of the tower and fire in a split division separation, stabbed in the heart 3 times and a 4th if necessary. You know, it's like, come on, bring it on. Thank you. More, please. And that reminds me of Oliver. Oliver, more, sir. As hermit sheds light on it. All right, so now this is always about the divine feminine speaking in her truth and always bringing everybody up to date. The challenge for the masculine is the tower. Sudden events. Sudden dreams. Suddenly dreams may be transformed, and or Aquarius death or end, or Scorpio healed suddenly, or sudden rejection or loss of a child, coming together with creative and or sexual blocks as the Queen of Pentacles, Virgo or hermit, prisoner of judgment, expressing feelings or telling the truth. In announcements, perhaps. And 11 had 23 had come up as well. 23 is the King of Wands. But call to action. This in sudden death or transformation or sudden explosion or fires or epiphanies, to transmute quickly, urgently. This is the challenge for the masculine. The King of Wands shaman now crowning, his crowning achievement, implementing powerlessness, losing independence in divorce or unfair judgment or payoff, purging, stressing. The King of Cups reversed, emotional detachment, in laying down of swords in order to end a war. Okay, so this is him as the King of Wands shaman, master of flames. Could be someone else, but it's crowning. And he's he's ending the war, the injustice of looking back or going back to the past, of his dark chains and ownership of mother and family, home, and wealth, and all he's been chained to, their truth, not his, as Jesus, your words, not mine. Rising up on a quest to union with the Queen of Swords, speaking truth about her Queen of Pentacles imprisonment, schooling the bird, Sphinx Akashic records about orange, vitamin C, and sacral chakra, and healthy sexuality. Destined calling or call, or Libra Aquarius fall, with Cancer, Scorpio, Virgo energies, as well as Libra starting over in love, while jealous Cancer, Aquarius, Libra, Scorpio, possibly with drinking issues, and not hearing the call, no matter how hard the masculine may have tried to get them to see. Fighting at night between Aquarius and Scorpion, and or Libra and Cancer, sudden small truth or child's words or news or a message of an offer of a new life burden, female all business and not sharing. And then I wrote down by accident snot sharing, so somebody might be sick or, blowing their nose all the time. And Sagittarius and Aries were coming around that energy. Karmic energy vampires. Soon the King of Cups, here's that King of Cups in the soon position, Master of Chalices, High Priestess Destiny, Secret Destiny, or Psychic Libra, recovering from no affections. Libra, Pisces, and Gemini and Aries here. At work, the Emperor takes advantage of Libra workhorse, or the Emperor now receives summons from the courts regarding his work behaviors. Keep an open mind, new love, and retreat came up for the masculine. He sees himself as that masked boy with a burning desire. Okay? He could also see himself as the one down on his knees in surrender to that inner child. Or offers assistance to the sad one, or a friend offers help to him. He's not happy or satisfied. Now a bold move to stalk, or negative self-talk, or a child mouthing off, or just no message returned. Around him, or how he is seen, is anxious, running away from an awakening, or an awakened one, letting go to fix things up with an empress, or the empress is letting go to fix things up with him. Or parents turn their back on him and mother is trying to now fix it, feeling imprisoned with a need to bridge the gap and clear blocks. Of equal distribution and sharing in a divorce with the Queen of Cups reversed potentially, or a spiritual, over-emotional woman seeing eye to eye about ending pain and magician embodiment, or making magic together. So this is what's around the masculine, or how he may be seen by others, right? A lot of anxiety or self-imposed prison, or it could be actual prison as well. But I turned the page, it was 742, and 42 is the Two of Cups, which is where we started this read from. The partnership that's breaking up, whether it's a marital partnership or a non-marital partnership or a work partnership, whatever it is. Intuition and domestic harmony came up, getting together to hang out and put it out there, or a twin date with attention perhaps. Surrender to the night, stealing energy, inspired to ask someone out, as the King of Cups is sharing with a karmic burdens of a new life, or love offered, or love being offered after he abandoned the divine feminine. So this is the Six of Crystals of the blocks that he needs to clear, okay, which is all about balance and sharing and equitable distribution in working together with people and living together with people, having a balanced relationship. And the last two cards were the Two of Crystals, but in this card, in this deck, Seer and Starseed, is very much surrender. And it's to the moon, Luna, okay, to the night, to his emotions, his feminine side. Justice and balance, working too hard to balance things. The King of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, always trying to give the Emperor or Father attention or get his approval. So this is very much a read about the masculine and his parents. Mother may be stern but fair, and Father always has the last word. And source of co-creation, so it could be supporting him financially as well in whatever his endeavors are, even if the divine masculine does very well for himself, the father may be tied into this. Or there may be loans, things like that need to be paid back, could be student loans as well. And karmic is not doing their fair share. Surrendering to his power and his creation amidst others taking from him and wanting something from him, including sexual attention. But maybe that's all they want from him. The angel is done purging and falling on their face, falling for the false light, and lacking faith, holding their tongue with dysfunctional family, or about loss of money, or verbal abuse by family, and putting the Queen of Pentacles on a pedestal, seeing her as everything they are not. Stuck in emotions, crying, dumping attachments to the Emperor reversed, who could be out of control, or just in ego death. The King of Cups comes together at work to creation, defenseless to attacks and energies coming in, possibly to his business. The King of Wands Shaman, or King of Cups, or he surrenders both to the night. So they could be different personas of himself, and they could both be people other than him. The King of Wands and King of Cups, they could be brothers, partners, father and brother or partner, or whatever it is. The King of Wands Shaman, or King of Cups, he surrenders both, whatever attachments or connections he has, whether those are his own personas or not, he's surrendering them to the night, to either his feminine self or the false light, or the new moon coming up. The karmic could be cheating with the King of Cups, or him with the divine feminine, or divine feminine ghosted again after trying to put it out there to the divine masculine, bearing the elements and putting their butt on the line. And the divine feminine, who would be happy even with only 2 little words, being treated like a real live girl, And I have to say, it was a read that I don't think I put out there, but him as Pinocchio came up, right? Wanting to be a real live boy. Healing a parting of the ways, the King of Wands looks down at the tail, at the little lizard DNA, the end of the struggle, the short end of the stick, looking down upon his own shadow, now noticing the details of his own DNA, lineage, and the beautiful countryside, connecting with higher self, but pretending she's not there while he's aligning. Masked boy with burning flame, anxious about divine feminine's heart, and walking away, challenged by sudden drama with Scorpio, Aquarius, kids, and or sexual function or frustration, and usual anxieties of a teenager's first date. The King of Cups, sharing with the King of Wands perhaps. He's been juggling at night, surrendering his true love to the false light. So maybe he's been taking the energy of his divine feminine and giving it away, whether it's to his karmic partner or people at work or whatever. Or Cancer, so he's surrendering his true love, the energy from his higher self, to the false light or a Cancer, or cancer treatments and or radiation, whether it could relate to him or someone around him. Dreams of the divine feminine connection after family parts ways. Higher self, he goes within, challenged by drama, sudden explosions and epiphanies, fires all over the place in order for him to put out. Finds his inner shaman from his inner child's inner flame, unconditional love, letting go of mutual prison or mental prison to balance himself, share and surrender to his emotions, to an emperor, or as the emperor, crying that divine feminine has dealt with her family issues with verbal abuse and turned out just fine, well grounded. So he's like saying, like, if somebody else can do it, so can I. The issue is leaving life behind he's worked so hard for, finding what's missing and connecting to his inner shaman. The challenge being the fires to put out and loving himself first, allowing emotions and all, his feminine self, and having been called a crybaby and verbally abused by a dysfunctional family for being too feminine or girly or well-rounded when he was young, or his family put his sisters or the feminines or daughters on a pedestal, not the masculine. Home of father's money, but mother with the power, it's their truth or no truth, that men are the devil and bring nothing but death to the family, so that some mothers may have this perspective about men. And this is what they taught the masculine. And maybe the masculine had to take care of their mother because the father wasn't good to her or left her. So they ended up being the caretaker. Father may have been juggling women at night, and now the shaman sees the night sky for what it truly is, the sunshine of the divine feminine and the moonshine of the karmic energies. Okay, so that's your read. I'm going to show you the pictures, and I'll pull one random card from the Good Tarot that I have. It's my new deck, to just see what comes up, but let me show you the pictures first before I forget. So this is the basic read for the masculine today, and this is good into the 31st. Okay, and then this is the full read. Just closer. Okay. So just real quickly, I'm going to pull you a card from the Good Tarot. See what comes up for you. Because it's now late. It's 44:04. Mastering the Emperor. It is 10:36. All right, so that's perfect because 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. So good fortune coming. And 36 is that 10 of Wands, right? The end of the Wands, the burdens. It's time to drop the burdens and go into the 37, which is the King of Cups. Unconditional love. And this is 44:33. This is the opposite of my business number. And 44 is the mastering, the grounding and integrating. And then 33 of the Christ consciousness. And standing up for yourself without getting defensive or reactive. And then the 44 is the Four of Cups. Of the, it can be boredom, but it's really about boredom, the purpose for boredom. Just like in nature, there's a purpose for everything, and even boredom, and that's to ground and integrate whatever you've just been through. Okay? So you need to be bored at times. That's the mastering of it. Alright, so this May 30th, 2019, for everyone watching, the best and highest good of others concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Alright. Arm us all with your love. Let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all is concerned, filling the empty spaces with only beautiful organic love and diamond light. And so it is. Thank you. Okay. And they dropped right out. A couple more cards wanted to come. Let's see what we have. Alright, so the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Air reversed. Okay, so that's the liar, cheater, and thief card normally, but it's reversed, so it'd be more about, can be still a little bit sneaky behavior, but also it can be about coming clean. And in this card, so you can see it upright, I'm not familiar with all these cards yet, so that's what it's upright. So it's not your usual liar, cheater, thief card. It's actually very beautiful and angelic, but there's a bunch of duckies. And she's masked. It's very cute, actually. Let's see, so reversed, you know, and ducks are very grounded, although they do fly as well. Okay, ducks are geese. But it's about them not having proper footing when it's reversed. They have nothing to cling on to, you know, to stay grounded. And so they're afraid that they're going to fall. But that's just an illusion. So we do risky things, you know, we act out when we feel unsettled, like we don't have proper footing. And this is why it's so important to stay centered and at 0 point. But that's the underlying energy what's coming out for you guys. The first grouping I have is the Four of Water, upright, the Two of Fire reversed, the Three of Fire reversed, and Temptation reversed. So that's like the devil. I'm going to show you the cards here. Okay. So here's Temptation reversed. Okay. Three of Fire, Two of Fire, and then the Four of Water. Okay. It's hard to see because they're very muted colors. But the Four of Water is that Four of Cups of the 44, which we just talked about. It's about boredom and mastering that. It's time to ground and integrate things. And she's underwater at the bottom, just chilling out for a minute, which is perfect, with bubbles floating up. She's holding her breath, but not like a panicked way. She's just holding her breath underwater at the bottom, just relaxing, come what may. So the Two of Fire and the Three of Fire, both being reversed, would typically be with no options and looking back or going back. So someone who's grounding and integrating and being still is looking back and going back, feeling like they have no options, and getting the genie in the bottle, and out of Africa. So it's very much about Egypt and Africa and the Euro-India connection again. And then we have the temptation of the devil reversed, which is a heart-shaped bite in the apple, and the feminine longing with her treasure chest. Look, the divine feminine longing for her masculine with her treasure chest just sitting there waiting for him. If he would only just see her. To stay present in the moment, but he's not present right now. Choosing a path on a tall giraffe is easier than most because the giraffe can see above everything else, and the giraffe is holding the lantern for him. but there is no option. How can you choose a path when neither path is what you want? You already have what you have, except you have no one to share it with, because this person's alone. And then the Three of Fire is about staying present. And this card is reminding me of being a present. So when you see it upright, it's like she is the present, but it's reversed. Okay? So it's like having to throw the gift away. All of these gifts and no one to give it to or share it with. It's just a waste of my gifts. To not share it with anyone just because your masculine isn't present. So that's the point. Okay? So it's about detoxing, feeling ungrounded and unstable, and allowing yourself to be bored, to allow it to ground and integrate, to not try to push those energies away, but to feel into them, to love them, to ask your body what it needs to feel loved in order to integrate what needs to come up and clear. We also have the Two of Earth reversed, the Two of Air reversed, the Three of Air upright, transformation, and the King of Air upright. Okay. So there's the King of Air. That's divine masculine. Transformation, right, is the Death card. We have the Three of Air upright, the Two of Air reversed, and the Two of Earth reversed. So he's going through transformation. Could be involving his children as well. And rebirthing. Maybe one of his children is having a child. And he's heartbroken, or his child is heartbroken. Definitely the Three of Swords energy of a third party. And both twos are reversed, so there's definitely breakups here. And there actually could be breakups of personal and business. They may be related, but it's about breakups in both fashions. Getting clear on which option is for him. Surrendering to his knowing. And he's clear. He's allowing himself to trip up and break patterns, to become clear on his decision and what he wants. In a third-party situation or a separation where he has to leave his children, or separation from his divine feminine, where the complete transformation is happening. So there's definitely an ending here, and or a separation in a relationship. But there's probably children involved, or a child might be having a child. But there are definitely patterns being broken in this ending, which is ultimately good because it's resulting in complete and total transformation. And then the final two cards for you guys are here. Nine of Water and Three of Earth, both reversed. I'll show them to you reversed and then upright. They're both reversed. And here's what they look like upright. Okay. So reversed is so not satisfied with his work. This is a lack of satisfaction coming together at work. Somebody might not be getting along at work or leaving a job because they're not happy, they're dissatisfied. Could also be unhappy with a third party through work or third party interference at work. Or somebody could be out drinking because of it. So whatever the issue is, if they're not getting along at work, if they're leaving work, if they're creatively stuck and not coming up with new projects at work, or third party interference. Okay, they may be out drinking alone or just unsatisfied and unhappy about the situation in general. He needs to come into the Nine of Cups upright, not reversed. So this is part of the process to get him there. Maybe he needs to leave this place in order to come into his authentic self. Something he knows, but he's not happy about doing it. It may be sad for him. Okay. Yeah. So it's about coming clean and coming into his authenticity and the steps that he needs to take, which may not be easy for him. So it's just again about being patient and doing you. Be happy and joyful. Spend time with your friends and families and the work that you love to do, and travel and have fun. It's summertime. Okay. So that's about it. I'm going to go, but drink your water, get your rest. I rested really well today. And rise and be love, guys. It's all about you. Bye.